Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. Hi, I'm 22, and husband is 25, and mother-in-law 40. My mother-in-law has never been a very accepting woman. She used to accuse me of turning her son, even though he was the one to pursue me. But I thought we had put all that drama behind us. So, husband and I have been married for 4 years now. Mother-in-law recently found out we are looking into a surrogate, since significant other's father doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. Came home to mother-in-law sitting on the couch. I didn't know she still had a key, with her feet propped up on the coffee table and her shoes next to them on my table. She knows things like that get under my skin. She does it whenever me and her argued in the past. Just puts dirty shoes anywhere, on pillows, in the fridge, on counters. So she clearly was already looking for an argument. I didn't say anything, just greeted her. The only thing she said was that she needed to speak with me and significant other. Then, when significant other reached home, she told us her grand idea of how his ex-girlfriend from high school should be our surrogate. We immediately shot her idea down. But she pushed on, saying how wonderful it would be. She apparently had already contacted her, and for whatever reason, she agreed. Mother-in-law and ex-girlfriend's mom have been friends for years. She got really mad when we kept refusing, started crying, said I was the evil person who didn't want her to have a connection to her grandkids. When we asked her to leave, she started banging her shoes on everything as she walked towards the door. Then she tells significant other to think about it, since she knows I'm corrupting his decision. I'd change the locks ASAP. Her letting herself in OP's house while he's not there is a big red flag. You can probably assume she went through all OP's stuff trying to find details. Someone that disrespectful in your home shouldn't have uninvited or unsupervised access to it. She needs to be put back in her place. Also, her idea about surrogate lays the groundwork for her pushing OP out of his own family. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Impossible Balance 11 says, no doubt, just no mother-in-law wants her darling son to conceive said baby with his ex, the surrogate the old-fashioned way, i.e., without the turnkey baster for his contribution. How many want to lay money that would be her next insistent suggestion? Anyone? Des-Tash 101 says, if you find shoes on furniture and refrigerator or wherever, toss them in the trash and don't say anything. She should not have access to your home. Such behavior earns a timeout. What you do about a surrogate or why you need one is none of her business. Acorn Girl says, oh hell no. This is a crazy, terrible idea, and she should never have suggested it. Put her in timeout for at least a couple weeks. No contact of any kind. You and your significant other need to decide, together, whether his mother has any place in your lives at all. And if she does, what boundaries need to be in place. Also, change the locks, like immediately, so she can't get into your house anymore, ever, without permission. This started 3 years ago, but I didn't say much about it because I didn't know her too well. 3 years ago is when I found out that my mother-in-law would still talk to my husband's ex-girlfriend, and she even would go to his sister's track meets. I thought it was weird and started questioning him if he still had a relationship with her, since she still had a relationship with his family. I didn't think much about it, and then nobody had contact with her for over a year. 1 year later, I'm at my mother-in-law's house, and the ex-girlfriend shows up at the doorstep, and my mother-in-law doesn't tell me about it till later. She then later tells me about it because I work for her, so I'm over at the house a lot. And my mother-in-law told me that my husband's ex will be coming over again. Didn't know about the first time. To give her some mask, because her friends have been asking her for those masks that his ex makes. I was also pregnant at the time, so I got pretty emotional about it and told my husband. He then explained to me to not care about it and leave it alone because he can't control his mother, so I trust him and leave it alone. Now, a few days ago, which was a year after, I was over visiting my mother-in-law with my baby girl and husband. My mother-in-law then tells us that she has just made a personal account on Instagram and then goes on about how she started following people on Instagram. But she didn't follow me or my husband on Instagram, even though she knows we use that more than Facebook to upload photos of our daughter. I found that weird. She then tells me that the first photo she posts is a picture of my husband holding my baby girl, kissing her, and my mother-in-law says, "Ooh, Guess who messaged me after I posted the picture of him kissing his daughter? And both of us look confused and proceed with asking, who? She then tells us that my ex-husband's ex-girlfriend messaged her congratulating the family and my husband on the baby girl, and proceeded with talking about how happy everyone must be. At that moment, I was caught so off guard that I looked at my husband, who looked so calm, and almost like he didn't care that this just took place. I felt so awkward at the moment, not even knowing what to say. I just said, "Oh, that's weird," not talking about it any further till me and my husband get home. I expressed that I'm pretty upset about it because I feel kinda disrespected. He said he didn't think I would care, so that's why he thought nothing of it. I got upset at him for not saying anything to his mother for doing something like that. I start questioning him if something is going on because it seems like an ongoing relationship. He tells me that he has no relation with his ex-girlfriend, and he doesn't know why his mom would go out of her way to follow his ex on Instagram and still have a relationship with her, because when they were together, his ex and his mom had no relationship, and his mom used to hate her because she cheated on my husband. I then felt so confused and got mad at him for not saying anything, so then he said he'll talk to her the next day. The next day he comes home from work and tells me how the conversation went about his mother and him. He called his mom and said, "Mom, what is your point of talking to my ex?" Her response was defensive immediately. She says, "I talk to whoever I want." My husband then tells her that he doesn't want her to talk to her anymore because it's weird and also she is irrelevant. His mom then says, "Talking to her is just like talking to your dad," which is her ex. My husband then gets mad and says, "That's different because you have a child with him. I don't have a child with her. I have nothing with her. You would also get mad if I still had a relationship with your ex." The reason why my husband mentioned that she would get mad too is because she does not like his uncle's ex-wife, and she got mad at him for a few days for saying, "Thank you, Auntie," because she wished him happy birthday because she isn't blood related, but have children with his uncle, which connects them. She gets mad and hangs up the phone. Now, I don't know what to do. I work with her, and I'm on maternity leave right now, but I can't decide if I even want to go back working for her. I feel upset and disrespected, but I don't know if I have the right to be upset or not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do I have the right to be upset? Should I go back working for her? Is it okay that I feel like I don't even want to have a close relationship with her? Is it right for me to feel as disrespected as I do? Is it okay that I feel upset that she didn't just keep this information to herself? Edit. I should probably also mention how my husband and her did not end on good terms, and that me and his ex have a bad past too. Before I knew who she was, she used to badmouth me to all of her, my husband, and my mutual friends. I also am upset because my mother-in-law always talks so much crap about her, but it just seems fake. Because when texting my husband's ex, she's all sweet and sends a bunch of heart emojis, like she has forgotten what happened between my husband and her and their really bad breakup. Another thing you guys should probably also know is that my mother-in-law is known for making drama, and even though she knows something would upset someone, she will still say it. She is a big aggressor, and she likes to get in people's business that isn't hers. Well, I don't think OP is in the wrong here. Yes, of course her mother-in-law can talk to whoever she wants. But in this situation, it's extremely disrespectful for her son and OP, just because ex cheated on OP's husband. So basically, OP's mother-in-law is almost best friends with a woman who hurt her son. Why would you do that? Also, OP says that mother-in-law used to hate ex. So what has changed now? I personally find it very suspicious. What do you think, guys? How is that normal? And now let's hear the community's opinion. Stress the Duck Out says, "I would have been fine with it up until she mentioned the response to the picture. That was mother-in-law clearly trying to get a reaction and stir trouble. She can remain friends with whoever she wants, but she doesn't need to drag you into it. I think you should find a new job, not only because of this, but so you can keep a level of distance within the familiar relationship. You don't need to be close with a mother-in-law, just social enough during family gatherings. If she's willing to be this manipulative, it's probably best to be distant. I also wouldn't engage in any conversation surrounding the ex anymore. The ex is irrelevant and has no bearing on your family. Making a big deal out of it will give mother-in-law ammo to attempt to manipulate more and cause drama." The Last Basilope says, "You are the one with the problem. From what you've said, their contact is minor and superficial. You are the one making something minor into a big deal and causing problems in your husband's family. If you are so insecure and jealous that you can't handle his mom being friendly acquaintances with his ex, then you need therapy to address it. My 23 female, mom, 50, recently passed in an accident. A few weeks ago, I got a letter from a lawyer saying I am given a house and some money, low six-figure USD, in my mom's stead. When my dad passed when I was 15, my mom and I moved. We managed to buy smallest house in a nice neighborhood. Our next-door neighbor was Ella, now 62, who lived alone. She was divorced and her 2 children lived several hours away. Ella and my mom were fast friends, and they worked in the same building until Ella's retirement, different companies. I knew they hung out often, though I was usually busy with my own things. I was often playing the errand girl, dropping and picking things up between our houses. Ella's children visited every New Year, and they were cordial with us. I got a scholarship for university overseas, and since then didn't visit much. I learned that Ella's health was bad, and she was often in and out of the hospital. I took a break from grad school and visited my mom in November. She got into a car accident a week after I went back. She clung to life for several days before leaving me forever. I am still grieving, even as I have to settle all her affairs. I'm her only relative, so naturally, I inherited all she had. I also learned Ella passed a few days before my mom in the hospital. Ella's lawyer reached out to me, saying Ella left the house she lived in and money for my mom in her will. Her children got her other properties and more money. Because my mom passed, as her next of kin, I am to inherit Ella's house and money. Ella's children reached out to me. They said though I have the right to the inheritance, I should relinquish because I am almost nothing to Ella. They are okay with my mom receiving the inheritance because she has been an active part in Ella's life. They said it's greedy of me if I decide to take the inheritance. I think back of all the nice things my mom did for Ella over the years. Ella would want my mom to live a comfortable life, and I'm sure my mom would want that money allotted for her to help take care of me. Still, I wonder if I'm the a-hole for receiving the inheritance intended for my mom, just because I'm next of kin with no special connection to Ella herself. Throwaway Goldilocks says, "Not the a-hole. It's intended for your mom. There's no way the money will ever return to Ella's children after your mom takes her share, so it's not like they lose out. My condolences for her passing, and please use the money to live a happy life like your mom intends for you." Particular Try says, "Not the a-hole. Ella made her choices. Get a lawyer to handle all of this going forward, and let them deal with the family. Most wills have a 30-day clause. Beneficiaries have to survive 30 days after the death of the deceased before they can inherit. So get that looked into. Expect a legal challenge. Ella's kids have nothing to lose and plenty to gain. Politely leave all wrangling, offers, and decisions up to the lawyer. Give the lawyer specific instructions. I want you to ensure I get this, but only up to the value of 50% of the estate, or whatever you think are reasonable limits. If Ella's kids cared, they would have taken her shopping every week and helped her clean her curtains and change her sheets." My female 25, husband, male 28, doesn't have a job. He takes care of the house chores while I work. His sister, female 22, came to stay with us a few weeks ago because of a fight she had with her parents. Neither wanted to tell us what happened. I didn't want her here. She isn't in school, doesn't work, doesn't do anything to help with chores, is a spoiled brat, acts entitled, etc. I only agreed to let her stay here for a week. It's been 6 weeks. I honestly can't stand to live with her anymore. She makes a mess everywhere, has parties when me and hubby aren't home, plays music on max volume till 4 a.m. She's rude, breaks stuff, disrespects all my boundaries and house rules. Finances aren't good either with the extra expenses. Last night I sat them down and told them that she needs to leave in a week because I'm done. I haven't had a real night's sleep in 6 weeks. The apartment is a mess because my husband can't keep up with the mess she makes, and I'm reaching rock bottom with the expenses. He asked if I would let her stay if she would get a job, and I said yes. That would mean that she won't have the energy to stay up till 4 a.m. and make a mess, and she will also contribute financially. She ran out screaming that she isn't getting a job, and I'm a B. I called mother-in-law and asked her again why they had a fight. She's pregnant. Baby daddy disappeared into the night when he heard the news. She expected her parents to provide, and they said no, so she came here. I told my husband, and he was shocked, but said we can't kick her out now. I said yes we can, and we are. I will not be financially responsible for her anymore. I will not be financially responsible for her child. I will not have a child in my home. I strongly dislike kids. I don't need the noise, the mess, the smell, the extra expenses. Hubby said he understands that I don't want any of this, but we can't kick her out because she has nowhere to go since his parents won't let her move back home. I simply said either she goes or I go. I'm sick of him enabling her behavior. He always makes excuses for her. He bends over backwards for her. Well, I'm not going to. She's an adult. She isn't in school. She doesn't work. She wants to have a baby? Okay. Then she needs to grow up and provide for herself. She isn't disabled, sick, mentally incapacitated, or anything else that would stop her from working. She just doesn't want to work. Her parents spoiled her too much when she was younger, and now she thinks the world revolves around her. My friends and in-laws agree with me, but my parents say that I'm the a-hole for kicking out a pregnant girl and making my husband choose between me and her. I'm not changing my decision, no matter what. If she's not out in a week, I will be. But I'm curious if I'm the a-hole. Dublo says, not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law, huge a-hole. Your husband, enabling a-hole. If your parents want to take her spoiled butt in, great. If they don't, they can stop being a-holes about your decision. Turbulent Message 637 says, not the a-hole. A girl without a source of income wants to have a baby? Throw her out, and your husband should go with her if he complains. You don't owe her to take care of her and her child. Chaotic Cheese Whiz says, not the a-hole at all. Getting her out while pregnant is going to be a lot easier than it would be when there's a baby involved.